Hello, yeah, wrong. And I've had loads of people ask me recently about the good old world of radio. And actually, when is Steve Wright's funeral? And I'd been monitoring the coroner's office to see whether there'd been any output from the coroner. And no, until today, that is. So, Steve Wright's funeral, when is it going to be? Soon. And how do I know that? Well, the coroner has decided that there will be no inquest held into the death of Steve Wright. Now, Steve died, I think it was February 14th, 13th, 14th this year. So it's been a good 3 or 4 months since we've had any output from the Coroner's Court. Westminster Coroner's Court have said in a statement today, an inquest will not be required for Mr. Wright. The veteran DJ, if you could call him that, died at the age of 69 in February, and the coroner has now discontinued this case. In other words, it's a non-suspicious death. Now, coroners investigate sudden, violent or unnatural deaths such as an accident or a suicide, and can also decide whether there are grounds to hold an inquest for a natural death of some kinds. Now, the Metropolitan Police previously said that Steve Wright's death at a flat in Marylebone, central London, was unexpected, but is not being treated as suspicious. Quote. So, a very sad and untimely death. Personally, I've not listened to Radio 2 since Steve left the station, and now the sadness continues, but it's the Coroner's Court, Westminster's Coroner's Court, today just said in a very brief statement, not suspicious, and the coroner has now discontinued this case. Now, Steve Wright was born in Greenwich, South London, 1954. So 69 is no age, really. Maybe it was lifestyle, we'll never know. But Steve Wright's career at the BBC began when he started working as a clerk. His broadcasting career was launched in 1976 when Steve Wright left the BBC to join Radio 210 in Reading with Mike Reid. 4 years later, he joined BBC Radio 1, presenting weekend programmes, but didn't he work for Luxembourg? I remember listening to Steve Wright on Luxembourg, and at the beginning of every show, he would have a sort of list. Oh yes, this week it's this suite and that suite and the other suite. Maybe a great idea to get freebies. Who knows? But I remember listening to him on Luxembourg. Then he joined Radio 1, presenting the weekend programmes, before launching Steve Wright in the Afternoon in 1981, 43 years ago. The show that ultimately would define his career, of course. And after a brief stint hosting the Radio 1 breakfast show for a year in 1994, Steve Wright left to join Talk Radio, of all places, but rejoined the BBC in 1996. And he began presenting a Saturday programme and Sunday love songs on Radio 2 from 1996, before relaunching his afternoon show in 1999, a slot he would keep until 2022. So, it was sad to hear of the sad and untimely death of Steve Wright in February of this year. But Westminster's Coroner's Court have said an inquest will not be required for Mr. Wright, and the coroner has now discontinued the case. It's non-suspicious, so I'm sure over the coming weeks the funeral can be held, or whatever ceremony is deemed appropriate. My name's Adrian Allen. Thank you for your likes. Please hit them if you like what we're doing. Thank you for your subscriptions, and please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel for more videos that are coming. But most of all, thank you for your indulgence. See you in the next video. But whatever you do, don't forget the Battenberg!